Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're heading straight into the world's most mysterious, vital, and, let's be honest, kind of intimidating rainforest. You know, we spend so much time looking up at the stars, trying to reach Mars, that we totally forget about the massive swaths of our own planet that are still basically alien worlds to us. So today, we're descending into the totally unknown depths of the Amazon.
Here's the roadmap for our journey today. First up, the heart of the Earth. Then, nature's bizarre anomalies, followed by uncontacted isolation and tiny but deadly. Finally, we'll wrap up with giants and extraterrestrial mysteries and an unsolvable lifeline. We're starting with the massive geographical facts and going deep down into the dense, unverified mysteries of the jungle.
All right, part one, the heart of the Earth. While 71% of our planet is water, the land we do have holds secrets we're just completely blind to. To even begin to wrap our heads around the Amazon, we have to grasp its absolutely massive footprint. I mean, this is a 6.5 million square kilometer behemoth. It spans 9 different South American countries and holds a staggering 62% of all the rainforests in the world. Now, about 60% of that is heavily concentrated in Brazil, but it spills way over the borders into Peru, Colombia, and 6 other nations. Honestly, if the Amazon were a country, it'd be the 9th largest on the planet.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how massive we are talking. Numbers like 6.5 million square kilometers can just sound like noise, right? But to put that into perspective, you could fit the entire country of Pakistan inside the Amazon 7 times. You could drop India in there twice. And Dubai? Try fitting the total landmass of Dubai into the Amazon 157 times over. It is literally an ocean of green.
So why do we call it the heart of the Earth? Well, packed into that massive space are over 4 billion trees. The canopy they form is so unbelievably thick that in a lot of places, the sun's rays just never hit the forest floor. It's perpetual twilight down there. Yet this single giant puzzle of an ecosystem is working overtime for us, single-handedly pumping out 20% of the world's oxygen. Basically, with every 5th breath you take, you can thank this forest. It's quite literally the lungs and the heart of our planet. Moving right along to part 2, nature's bizarre anomalies. Let's move to and see how this builds from standard geography into some seriously terrifying environmental oddities. Take the Shanay Tumpishka, for example. Guys, this isn't some relaxing hot spring. We're talking about a 6.4-kilometer flowing river that is literally boiling. The temperatures swing from 20 degrees right up to a lethal 100 degrees Celsius. The sensory horror of this place is just wild. It's so intensely hot that locals can actually cook eggs just by setting them in the water. Geologists used to think a boiling river of this size was scientifically impossible without a volcano nearby, but, well, here it is. If you dipped your hand in there for even half a second, you'd get instant 3rd-degree burns. Anything that falls in, yeah, it doesn't survive.
But it's not just the water that defies logic out there. The plants do too. Check out the Kashapona, or the walking tree. Now, okay, it's not some speedy monster from a sci-fi movie, but the way it works is absolutely fascinating. Since that jungle canopy is so thick, sunlight is prime real estate. So these trees literally creep forward across the forest floor looking for light. They grow new roots extending out toward where the sun is hitting, and as they anchor down, the old roots in the dark slowly die off behind them. Step by step, it physically changes its location over time. It's like the world's slowest road trip, all in pursuit of the sun.
Part 3, uncontacted tribes in isolation. We're going even deeper into the undergrowth now to find a human element totally hidden from the modern world. Deep inside those borders are indigenous communities whose entire universe is just the jungle. They live completely off the grid, zero modern technology. Every single day, they're surviving alongside deadly predators, hunting raw meat with traditional weapons like bows and spears. And they are, understandably, incredibly isolated. Actually, when planes or helicopters fly over, some of these tribes have been photographed aiming their arrows up at the sky. They likely think the aircraft are giant predatory birds or immediate threats. They're fiercely hostile to outside contact, actively defending their territory. And because past encounters have ended in tragedy, the government has actually put a strict ban on entering these deep regions, just to protect both outsiders and the tribes themselves. All right, part 4, tiny but deadly inhabitants. Out here, danger doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's barely even visible. We normally think of apex predators as these massive, terrifying beasts, right? But in the Amazon, the worst danger comes in the tiniest packages. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just how disproportionately lethal these little guys are. We're talking about 2 creatures that are barely 4 centimeters long. First, the bullet ant. It's the biggest ant in the world, hangs out by itself, and if it bites you, the pain is universally described as feeling exactly like getting shot with a bullet. And the kicker? That excruciating pain doesn't fade. It stays constant for exactly 24 hours. No way, right? Then you have the poison dart frog. They have these gorgeous, bright golden colors, over 120 varieties out there, but a single 4-centimeter frog has enough venom to easily kill 10 grown adults. Scientists think they evolved this extreme toxicity just to survive that brutal jungle food chain, though exactly how they got so toxic is still a massive mystery.
Part 5. Giants and Extraterrestrial Mysteries. Now we're plunging into the deepest, most unverified parts of the jungle.
When you've got a space this massive and this unexplored, it's pretty much a breeding ground for bizarre claims, local legends, and unverified reports. We're definitely in the deep end now, and we have to ask the question that has literally haunted explorers for over a century. Are prehistoric giants, or maybe even extraterrestrials, hiding in the deepest foliage? The claims are just as wild as the jungle itself.
Let's walk through the timeline of what people have actually reported. Scientifically, we know massive anaconda snakes max out around 30 feet. But in 1906, the famous explorer Percy Fawcett officially reported running into a 70-foot anaconda. And before he could prove it, he mysteriously died in the jungle. Then you have native rumors of giant spiders, like 6 feet across, just roaming the forest floor. Sure, there's no photographic proof, but get this. The World Wildlife Fund noted that between 1999 and 2009, a totally new species of plant or animal was discovered in the Amazon every 3 days. So the idea of undiscovered giants lurking out there, locals definitely don't dismiss it. And then there's the sky. In 2011, 2 British tourists in the Brazilian Amazon snapped a photo that sparked a massive debate. Tucked in the background was this weird alien-like figure, and right behind it, a glowing, hovering circular light. UFO sightings are actually a super common legend in the area. Whether you think these are just misidentifications, local myths, or genuine mysteries, they're absolutely baked into the Amazon's modern lore.
And finally, Part 6, an unsolvable global lifeline. Let's zoom back out from the mysteries for a second. Beyond all the myths, the boiling rivers, and the toxic frogs, we've got to remember this forest's completely untapped value to humanity. So the crucial point is this: the Amazon is essentially a giant living laboratory. Researchers say the jungle floor is absolutely packed with undiscovered herbs and botanicals that have mind-boggling medical potential. We're talking biological compounds that could theoretically cure major diseases in a heartbeat. There are even incredible claims floating around the scientific community that if we could just unlock the right botanical compounds hidden out there, we could potentially extend human lifespans to over 200 years. I mean, the stakes of understanding this ecosystem couldn't be any higher. But actually achieving that understanding, it's a massive uphill battle. I want to leave you with this absolutely staggering thought from scientists who have dedicated their whole careers to the jungle. Even if you spent your entire life researching, you wouldn't uncover even 10% of the Amazon's secrets. It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? We shared this Earth with a huge 6.5 million square kilometer labyrinth that literally breathes for us, but just straight up refuses to give up its secrets. So what does this all mean? It leaves you wondering, will the deepest shadows of the Amazon ultimately give us the cure for our worst diseases, or will they unleash predators we are entirely unprepared for? Keep learning, keep exploring, and thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.